I'm just putting Cadbury.org. I'm here with the disappointed faces of FM.Esports. That's FM.Esports, not Fragmasters. We'll come to that in a moment. It's like you've heard this before, boys. And it's HenryG and it's Mole. Guys, first of all, I got to say, that game against CRG that knocked you out, it looked like you had it at 10-5 up, then you just sort of threw it away. What went wrong?
To be honest, the map selection season we always knew was going to be an absolute struggle. As a mix, it's not a mix-friendly map. It's kind of very heavily based on fakes and smokes and flashes. So last night we decided to focus on T-side, get some solid stuff down, and that proved really evident. I think in the rounds we got, we were really, really solid. It was just CT, we kind of didn't have time to go over properly. We kind of set positions for ourselves and just decided, right, we'll just hope T goes really well and we'll just have to claw back at CT, and it just wasn't enough in the end. We lost a lot of clutches, lost a lot off the first picks of the round, and they just kind of just ran circles around us all over the map. And yeah, I think had we got the pistol at CT we could have done it, but I don't think we deserved to win after what happened with the clutches and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, you lost two 3v1s back to back. I know you were not happy with that. So what's your take on it?
Well, coming in as a mix is, you got to keep the comms up. You got to try and base your game around teamwork, especially on CT this season. And it just wasn't there. We were letting them have middle every round. We were just getting split from each way, and we just couldn't hold it. It was just poor.
I think we gave them a run for their money though. They knew it was on the line. After the first half, they knew it was going to be really close. Yeah. And we got 3 rounds of CT. We needed 2 more for the draw, and those 2 clutches could have been it. So I don't think it's only a tiny land. It's not big prize money or something like that. It's not that big a disappointment. We came here for just to see everyone have a bit of a laugh, and we've done that. So it's all good.
I want to ask a bit about the kind of, do you guys ever get, I know, not bored of it, but you're putting together these mixed teams and it's the same story each time. Yeah. Because you're a mixed team, it holds you guys back, but then you don't have the time to kind of full-time practice, and so you're not really in the great teams that you should be. Yeah. And I think that's the whole UK scene encapsulated. But do you guys ever think, being half in, half out, what's the fucking point?
Well, real life takes over after a while. I'm 21 and he's just an old man now, so he's very busy. I don't know what that makes me. He's very busy at work, and it's just a shame really that we can't pull together a team and actually practice for an event, because it's I've been to Epic 5 as a team and won, and then I've been to 2 or 3 more with the mix every time, and I don't know why we do it. It's just because we love LAN, isn't it really?
Yeah, it's just a laugh really. We're all mates, we hang out outside the game, we go out on the weekends and stuff like that. It's just, we all love playing CS, and I'm sure it's in there somewhere that we love it, but it's just obviously after that we're disappointed, but at the same time we the group stages and stuff, and the whole LAN is just a bit of fun. We're not coming here seriously thinking we can win. You're not going to win against teams with 3 days practice. I just don't have the time to put in 6 weeks to win £150. It's just doesn't make sense to me to do that. So I just kind of turn up and I don't know the new smokes or flashes or anything. I just kind of have to rely on the old school. Yeah. Get in there and see what you can do, sort of thing. So
rush ups. Nade on 130. The 2005 time nade strats.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. But well, I'll come to you specific, man, because you are an old man in terms of this esports business. Yeah. One of the most accomplished UK captains. Pretty much done it all in CSS. And we keep flirting with this retirement thing, and you always turn up like the proverbial bad penny.
Let's be honest, I have retired. I'm turning up doing mixes. I haven't been in the team since December last year, so it's a good 6-7 months now. I think this is our first LAN of this year. This is the first one we've done. Yeah, so I can hardly say I'm in the scene or anything. I hardly play. I played 1 week before this event, and teams, I can't remember the last time I had team practice and stuff like that. So
could anything make you go serious again?
It just depends. If I got a decent salary that equated to what I make now at work, then maybe, because I'm kind of 24 now. I'm kind of having to focus on a career. gaming was a laugh when I was at uni and stuff, as I didn't really have to do any. There wasn't any commitments. You didn't have to do any work, go to any lectures. You just played games all the time. But now I kind of have a job. If I just turn up late or turn up after a big gaming session at 6 in the morning, I'm going to get fired. So, no, I don't think a comeback's on the cards as of yet, unless CS:GO it blows up and everyone's making thousands of pounds. I don't think I'll come back properly.
We'll come back to CS:GO. In an ideal situation for you, Josh, I think you've got a few more years on the clock before real life really kicks you in the nuts and you start getting bogged down in the stuff that Henry's talking about. Yeah, exactly. I mean, what would you want to do? Like, ideally, like, I mean, you know, if you could put together a team, or I mean, what are you looking for to get out of kind of these last days of Counter-Strike Source? Is there anything you sort of would like to happen?
Well, it's come to the point now where I'm in Toxic, and next land's I-46, I think, and I don't know, like we just, I don't know, I just get to the point where I'll come back from work and I've got nothing to do, and I'll come and I'll just play games, but I'm not too sure on CS:GO at the moment, because
I think I-46 is your last big shot at CSS, really, isn't it?
It's my last land for CSS. Well, if CS:GO blows up, like Henry said, I'm going to take a look at it, but I've played it like before, and you know, 1 week shooting's alright and the next minute it's crap. So I've just said I'm not going to play it till it actually comes out, and if I enjoy it then I'm going to play it, but if I don't, then I think I-Series is probably the nail on the head.
All she wrote.
Yeah.
Well, right, let's talk about CS:GO then. You know, I think the game's it's definitely got a long way to go, I'd say, before it's the finished article. But I think there are encouraging signs there. And if CS:GO isn't successful, it's not just a nail in a coffin for a lot of Counter-Strike players, not just you guys in Source, but obviously 1.6 as well. It's the death of competitive FPS. You know, given that to be the fact, do you think you guys, you know, realistically have to kind of at least support it initially? Like, do you feel any responsibility to just play the game even if you think it's bad?
Unless I'm like in a team or a proper competitive player, then there's not really much I can do. That's all I've ever done, is playing big teams and like put on good matches for people, for spectators. I've never really been that involved in the scene, so there's not really much I can do from the outside. So unless I did get into a big team, I think that's the only responsibility I'd feel, to just turn up to events and represent the UK and like show that the Counter-Strike scene has still got competitive teams playing and there's prizes to be won.
Well, I think, like I said, if it does take off and it does go big, I'm not going to force myself to play a game I don't enjoy, because I do enjoy CSS. I don't play any other game, like Hon, LOL, no. Like, it's just a no-go for me. I can't stand stuff like that. But if I don't enjoy CS:GO, I'm not going to play it at all.
What do you think is going to happen to CSS when CS:GO comes out? I mean, because look, honestly, it's probably not the thing I should be saying, because I run a primarily CSS website, right? But it's
on its last legs.
Yeah, innit? It's
like, look at the turnout for this event. Like, Call of Duty's got more teams, for fuck's sake. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, but why is that? It's like, why does everyone suddenly just decide to not come to events and stuff? I mean, what's going to happen to Source? I want to ask Josh.
Sorry.
Look, I want to ask Josh. I know you've got things to say. I want to pick the brains of the young man.
Well, I think Source is on its last legs, because I don't know, because I-Series is going to be like a big last land for CS, and I'm not sure if there's any others around the corner like Europe. But I'm just hoping that for, like, because if CS:GO fails, then, you know what I mean, it's going to be a total shambles for the whole of esports sort of thing, like FPS side. And I just hope that it does take off big, because it does save, like, if we can gather all the communities together and just play all one game, it's going to be massive. Like, it's going to be so good. I just hope they deliver on the game, really.
Now you can go.
Kind of forgot what we were even asking after you shunned me off. What's the question?
I was just saying, do you you know, think that what's going to happen to CSS when CSGO comes out? Is it just going to? Is it literally just going to die? Is it literally going to die?
It's dead at the moment. Let's be honest. There's like a couple of teams still practicing. Like just to get games for this week to practice, we are actually on IRC struggling to even find average people to play. Like top
5-on-5 CSS.
Mate, I think that actually happened at one point. Not even kidding. It happened, and like we're still struggling. Then you can just tell. Like even though it sounds ridiculous, even trying to go on a public server and try and find people playing is quite hard these days. Like a decent public. So I think CSS is that everyone knows is kind of at the last kind of events now, and after CSGO, that's the end of CSS. I'm going to say, like, I don't think anyone's realistic. All the CSS teams I know, at least, like all the top teams like MTW, Mousesports and stuff, they're going to be concentrating on CSGO. So I think everyone will follow in suit what the top teams do.
It's going to be interesting. I think as well, there's a lot of talk about top 1.6s moving over, and I think it was easy for the 1.6s initially. It'd be like saying we ain't going to move to CSGO unless it's something special. Now that all these tournaments have dropped 1.6, all of a sudden their attitude seems to be changing. Yeah. Do you think we're going to see some big names come over? I know obviously we've already talked to you guys have been mixing with like Get Right, Forest, Neo, I think is in there as well. But I mean, are we going to see more big names follow suit, do you think?
Well, I just hope everyone does follow suit, because it's going to make it so much better. If 1.6 community are just stubborn, as everyone knows, and I'm happy that people like from SK and that are giving it a good try, because there's no point in just staying in the game. Like if it's dropping tournaments, there's no point staying there. They might as well just pull the fingers out their arses and give the game a go and try and get behind it and then support it, because if CSS top teams play 1.6 top teams, it's going to be amazing, I think, and it's going to be sick.
It'd be an interesting way to see who are the most skilled players as well, I think. Like,
yeah, but we don't want to bring that shit up again. We had all that in CGS, and it was bollocks then.
It's just like everyone's focusing on the same game, is what I mean, and not like 1.6 is coming over the source after 2 years. Sort of. Everyone will be starting on the same page, is what I mean. So it'll be like, oh, you can't say, oh, that game's easy or this game was harder or whatever. Everyone's starting on the same day. Everyone will be going to the first big tournament and stuff. I think that'll just be interesting to see what the skill gap actually is, instead of people blaming the games.
Yeah, and kind of just theorising what it might be.
Yeah, so it just sums everything up, I think.
I want to ask you a little bit as well, because I'm going to come back to the game earlier, and look, I hate having to kind of talk about the same things in each of the interviews, but it was brought up about the actions of Critical in the Rasta team and their run-ins with him. There were moments in the game against you where he was leaning across and kind of shouting in your faces and stuff. Have we got at a stage where, I know, like, I only see that at UK lands. I only hear about fights at UK lands. I only see trouble occur at UK lands. I mean, are you guys kind of like, do you look at that and they're just like, it's no wonder people don't want to turn up to events if that's what you're going to have to put up with?
Well, I think especially Critical, like, he's the only person who does really get in your face sort of thing. Like, he was over the top of the board swearing at us and stuff. He just gets himself that sucked into the game, which I think in ways is good because he's into it, like, fair play to him, but like, you don't need to be over the top of the banner swearing at the other team, shouting wankers and stuff like that. But if it's what he wants, if he wants to make an idiot of himself, then be my guest. Like.
Yeah, I don't really see any harm if it. Doesn't phase me out or anything like that. I just think it's a bit, someone who doesn't really know the game or the scene that well, they see that going on, it kind of just like, it just adds to the stigma of gaming in general. It's kind of just look at these like kids, don't know, like they're not professional or anything like that. But honestly, I don't really care. It's fine, but it's not productive at all. It just kind of sets us back even further, I think. But
is there a happy medium though? Because like when I watch StarCraft 2 tournaments, I always think it's a little bit sterile and quite cold. Like I watched Nurchio just recently. He's just won 25 grand, and he just goes,
yeah, I saw that.
One slow, fist pump is all it's worth. Like, you want a bit of emotion, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. I think as Brits we do that quite well, like showing, we all get quite passionate, like when we win rounds and stuff. I think that's always good, like screaming when you win a round and like cheering together and showing everyone's into it. That's cool. And like even a bit of banter's fine, like, but when it gets to the stage where you're like kind of like taking personal digs at people and stuff like that, that's when it's kind of like, okay, that's not cool anymore. But yeah, I think some emotion and passion's cool. Yeah, that works. Makes the game more exciting to watch, and like streams and stuff. to get a lot more views. Of, like, they see actual people love, like, really this massive desire to win, even if it is like £1,000. But yeah, no, it's all good.
So final thoughts. Who's going to win the final between obviously your friends at CRG and Rasta?
Well, they're both got a team. Both two teams, both good mates with, and I think because Rasta have to win 1, don't they, and CRG have to win 2, and I do think Rasta are gonna take them because CRG, when we played them on Inferno on the upper bracket, we saw weaknesses that we couldn't. It took us a while to figure out, but I do hope Rasta win because I've always been a Rasta man. I've been in there for a few years with the org, and I'm happy to see them win most of the time. So,
except when it's against you, obviously.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt that Rasta will win. Inferno could go either way, but the second map, I don't know what that is, but I don't think CRG are going to be able to lock them out for 2 maps. So I'd put quite a reasonable bet on Rasta right now. Nothing more to say, really.
Okay. Well, it's good to see you boys again. I'm no doubt I'll see you on the road. I'll catch you at I-46 for one last hurrah, perhaps for all of us. Who knows? Yeah, one the roll of the dice, the Kingston head, guys. And anyway, that was that. We're going to bring you more video interviews of that nature, perhaps not as irreverent and strange, from here at Epic 9 at Utox at the Racecourse. So do stay tuned to the website. Thanks a lot.